Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo, and this is a video that I'm not gonna lie.
Really? Matt? Mundane Matt's not gonna lie. Well, shit, I never thought I'd see the day.
I should have made probably about a year and a half ago.
Well, shit, have you been flagging people that long, Matt?
Right. I would say about probably February 2017 is when I should have actively done this, but I didn't.
You mean even back then you were flagging people and you should have reversed the strikes back then that haven't been reversed yet? I'm assuming that's what it is, because remember, you were sorry, so you're trying to own up and be a better person?
And what I'm basically here to say is that I'm quitting the skeptic community.
Honey, I think the skeptic community quit you way before you quit them. But then again, I don't know if I can really argue that point, because you're just a group of junior high circle jerkers. I'm quitting the skeptic community. Oh God, I think this is gonna be good. This is good. This is good. I think we're gonna enjoy this. Quitting the skeptic.
Whatever that might mean, right?
I mean, does it mean you're gonna reverse the strikes you gave to people? You're gonna take off those flags and reimburse them for the money? Because honestly, Matt, that's all I'm really interested in at this point.
I don't really,
Hold on, were there any words in that? Let's listen again.
I don't really,
Okay, this is kind of a stupid little dig, but that's 3 seconds of absolute mumbling and audible. It makes me laugh because my mother's boyfriend or long-term partner, this real white trash, white trash of a man, is that even a sentence? A white trash of a man. I can't insult somebody and fuck up this sentence. But he does this thing, I laugh. I'm like, he starts a sentence with like 2 to 3, I'm doing it again. I can't joke on somebody and not get this right. I'm really tired. I have several videos of really tired, but okay, let me try again. The mouth brain work, and here I am joking at him. I am trying to joke on him for his mumbling, and what the fuck am I doing? I'm a hypocrite. Peter Mon, hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite. Okay, let's try again. My mother's white trash boyfriend. I'd always laugh because he has like 2 to 3 seconds of like inaudibleness before he speaks. It'd be like, sure. And that's what this reminded me of. I know, it's a little bit of a cheap shot. Everybody mumbles. I just mumbled. I don't really care that he mumbles. I just found it funny because at this point, as much as I don't like Mundane Matt's actions, I look at him like some of the harassers. Let me step back. Mundane Matt, I'm not saying he's harassed me. I'm just saying, like, what I mean by that is I find him silly. Like, I just find his whole shtick at this point silly. So I'm just making a jab, and now I've made several jabs at myself. So there we go. We're even Matt and myself. And I was about to say who doesn't watch my videos, but I actually saw in my analytics he does. So we'll get to that another day.
I don't really assign that terminology to myself. In fact, I cringe every time I hear it because it's just like, oh, wow, it's so bad. Because I don't view myself as a skeptic.
Matt, there are so many more things to cringe at about yourself than the fact that you are looped in with skeptics. I'm gonna keep saying it repeatedly, Matt, when I feel like I feel like this is very disingenuous, and I'll get into why later, but it's like every time I feel like you start trying to cater and play to the audience, it really, really irritates me, because the whole time I'm thinking, you were so sorry, and the strikes haven't been reversed, and people haven't been paid since you tried to get them basically fired from their jobs. Like, people couldn't pay their rent because of you. So I don't really care what direction you're moving in. I just want to know when people are getting paid and when they can have their channels back. And then you go on and say like, well, I'm not really consider myself a skeptic. Are you kidding me, Matt? You never considered yourself a skeptic, but you sure let people believe you were in that community, and you circle jerked with all those people so y'all could just keep helping one another get subs for your dying channels, because people really don't watch you because they see what disingenuous pieces of crap you are, considering you were one of several of the skeptics who put Candid out there, who have completely fucked everybody over, including you, when you keep whining as you're fucking people over. So like, I'm sorry, you consider all day long and say, well, I never considered myself that. Then that's another piece of you being disingenuous. It's just a whole nother level of you lying and trying to cater to an audience because you thought it was trendy at the moment. And this is why I think it's disingenuous. Oh yeah, when are people gonna get their channels back? That's all I care about.
I view myself as a commentator, but I do talk about a lot of the same stuff that a lot of skeptics talk about, at least in that community. And even the people that are usually called the skeptic community don't even view themselves as being skeptics. It's a terminology that that I'm not the only one that cringes at, trust me.
Call bullshit. I think the only reason you guys are cringing at it now is because Andy Worski broke the skeptic spell. You all were happy to be in that dumb little middle school, junior high clique together where you all protect each other. You act like you're better than everybody else. You're above reproach. You're above everything else, which is why y'all go around doing those stupid dumb ops on one another and to anybody else you don't like or who may be getting more attention or you feel intimidated by. I'm sorry. I don't buy any of this. I think you were, why is always something itching? I think you were absolutely happy to be considered a skeptic until it wasn't cool. And what made it not cool was you guys. And you know what killed the skeptics, Matt? Aside from all the dumb shit we didn't know about that's come out over time, like, oh, freedom of speech and don't flag, and then you go out and flag everybody. You know, aside from Candid, where the skeptic community fucked all of YouTube over, aside from all of those really awful, ridiculous things, you were 100% happy to be labeled as a skeptic when it benefited you. And it doesn't benefit you, and there's a major reason aside from what I pointed out. Kilroy!
Or laughs at or just kind of blows off, but it's what I think you would say is generally known about us, right? Those of us who comment on social events and current events, feminism, leftist politics, radical leftist actions, you know, things along those lines. And it's become a very interesting culture and in a very interesting community. And it's one that over the span of the last year and a half, I have just grown to be bored with.
Honey, I'm gonna say it again. I think everybody got bored with y'all and got angry with y'all. And it started with Based Mama. I mean, it had been building in places here and there because y'all's arrogance, but it would have been building, and then here comes Based Mama, stealing Andy Worski and Failure's idea, taking it for herself, running with it, and making it an Academics Please Respond event, and you guys backed her up when she stole so much money from people and did false advertising to get people to buy tickets. And we still don't know what the financial situation is. We've been lied to after lied to after lied to with her. And then she and Jared Holt, apparently, she flashed Jared Holt and he's like, whatever you want, Based Mama, whatever you want, Victoria, and ran a story about, oh, all the money's gone, somebody stole it. Honey, people were bored of you guys. People are angry at you guys. They're angry because of your hypocritical actions. They're angry because of your dumb opsing. They're angry because as much as you screamed free speech, you tried to get people fired. And they're angry because you were complicit and you profited off of Based Mama stealing tens of thousands of dollars. You and all your friends. Rezion, oh my God, what's his name with the dreads? What's his name with the dreads? And he did this backhanded shade the other day. Oh my God, I can't think of him. Jeff Holiday, I can't think of the name. And Bunty King. Every one of you that went to Kilroy was complicit in that. So you're now denouncing it because it's not cool and it doesn't benefit you, but it's not cool and doesn't benefit you, literally, because of you, Matt. You and your dumb friends. Because it was just too hard to like grow a personality or a conscience or really get something meaningful to say. Let's just jump on a trend and ride it until people are tired of me and then I have to do stupid things. That's you and your friends.
Right. Before, when things are popping, when things are interesting, you know, prior to the 2016 election, really, it felt like that, you know, there's a mission here, right? There's a reason for it. Like Gamergate felt like there was a reason for it. You're fighting against, you know, these really crap politics in gaming. And for me specifically, it was about ethics in games journalism, and it still is. You know, but it just, again, 4 years on, and I'm just kind of bored with it.
You mean there was a mission when you went after people for flagging videos and free speech and feminism in games, right? There was a mission then until you got caught flagging everybody else because your little fifis got hurt because you were talking too much shit on everybody and then being a puss when people confronted you and then talk shit again behind their backs, right? Really. As much as you don't like feminism, I think you have an issue with all that extra estrogen in your body, honey. Hold on, before anybody gets mad at me, there's nothing wrong with having extra estrogen. There's nothing wrong with extra estrogen in your body. But at this point, just own up to it. Own up to it and be you, sweetie. Be you and be sassy. I'm so tired of having more balls than all the dudes in the YouTube community, especially, let me be more specific, the skeptics. Or I'm sorry, we can't say skeptics anymore because MundaneMatt's out and the rest of them don't want to be considered what they put themselves in a grouping as because they screwed it all up for themselves, right?
Right. I mean, I was talking to Sargon about it the other day, and he said like it's the media treadmill is cancer, which is very true. It is. And again, I find myself just waking up in the morning and looking through the news and not getting fired up to talk about it, not getting ready to go and reared up. And yeah, I feel like I have to put on this facade. I have to put on this persona.
You've been putting on a facade and a persona for a long time. I think your whole fired up thing was probably a facade and a persona then too. It's just at that point, you were making money off of it. You were making money off of the outrage that you bitched about for outrage. Like, it's incredibly hypocritical, in my opinion. And furthermore, I think it's funny, you're like, I talked to Sargon. Oh, right, Sargon, the real credible source who tried to basically allude to everybody that Jim, you guys know Mr. Metokur, is a pedophile. So yeah, I'm sure he gives really good advice. Take advice from him. Take advice from your local Applebee's manager on how to run your YouTube career.
And the thing is, that mask that comes with that, people see through it. And they tell me, they'll tell me point blank, like they'll go, Matt, you look like you hate what you do. You look like you don't like what you do. You look like you're bored. You look like you don't care. And I'm all like, yeah, it's true. I still care in essence for what it is, but the delivery method has been the same. The type of commentary coming out of me has been the same. It hasn't changed. What you heard me say 4 years ago, you would hear me say today. I'm bored of saying it repeatedly. Aren't you? Is kind of the question I would put.
You know, it's like, as irritated as I am with them, I also want to give them some credit, but me wanting to give them credit irritates me, and I'll explain why. I'm about to have a sneeze attack. There's always something going on, body. Ah, no. You know when you're like about to sneeze and you do this face? Stop it. Okay, where was I going with this? Oh, okay, I'm irritated, and I'll explain why. So, he's basically saying he doesn't like what he's doing. People are calling him out, and he's agreeing, and he's realizing, like, he's bored of talking about it, we're bored of it. And as much as I want to be like, good job, Matt, for some self-awareness, it's like, holy shit, it took you 2 months. And people have been saying it long before then. And this is like the dilemma, sorry, the AC just came on, but this is the dilemma of YouTube that I feel like YouTubers have, because this is where it can be compassionate. I can understand, because when I was going through my shit, people probably looked at me and went, oh my God, why aren't you taking the advice? But there's also, in my case, all these other stuff going on behind the background nobody knew about, felt like I couldn't talk about because I was trying to protect other people. And there's always more to a story, but I don't think that's the case with Matt. So it's hard to have that level of compassion for him, but I can understand when you put yourself out there to a large audience, especially because he has just gotten slapped around repeatedly by YouTubers, and for good reason, well deserved. In his case, you know, when you have that wave of hate come at you, I can kind of understand why it would take a while to dissect, but at the same time, it's also irritating because it's like, it really took you 2 months. And in that 2-month time, you didn't really take much time off YouTube to self-reflect. I really feel like it took him going to that MythCon or whatever that thing was they all went to and hanging out with his skeptic, which are no longer the skeptic buddies. That's what I feel like it took. It took them to sit him down again and just basically beat it into his head. And I guess he was open to the ideas that they had because they weren't coming at him with the extreme negativity. The problem is he caused the extreme negativity by being an ass. Because he was an asshole, people responded. Like that's the whole thing with Matt. It's like, Matt, you created your own problem, and I want to be like, good job, buddy, for being self-aware, but holy shit, everyone, even people you're friendly with have been screaming this to you even before, way before you went to that, you know, to that event. again, it's like junior high. He's got to be with his junior high clique to know what decisions to make. And that's the part that drives me nuts. Good job on the self-awareness. It's a little late. Oh yeah, do people have their channels back or the flags down yet? Because I'm going to keep harping about that. Every time he tries to make one of these videos to help us think that he's changed and we're going in a different direction, I'm going to say, when have you cleaned up your mess? Because other people are still dealing with the mess that you created. And apologies, great. Where's the action? Where is it? And yes, Matt, we're bored of you. We've been bored for a while. We've been absolutely bored for a while. And I think the only reason you haven't changed your content is because, well, there are a couple reasons. You're lazy. You're lazy to figure out something else that inspires you. And you are addicted to the attention of YouTube, even though it doesn't hardly pay anything. You are addicted to it at this point, which is why you can't take a few days off to self-reflect, talk to people you trust, get the right insight, and find something else and move in a different direction. That's just my opinion anyway.
But when I talk about movies, when I talk over on $3 Theater, I'm genuinely excited to talk about those issues because movies mean a lot to me. Movies have been a key part of my DNA as a human my entire life, you know, and I still love learning about movies and seeing them and talking about them and geeking out. And that is something that brings me joy. That is something that the people tell me. I will watch your $3 Theater content over MundaneMatt because you genuinely enjoy what you do. Because it's true, I do. I love talking about movies. I get super excited. I get to geek out on Star Wars. I get all happy and shit. But then I come over to this channel and I look for things to talk about. And like yesterday and today, I've just sat here at my computer reading article after article, headline after headline, and I'm just bored. I am looking for specific content that and this is my own fault, that I believe people come to expect out of me, and I'm not finding it.
Translation, you're looking for articles that you think would trend. See, Matt has pigeonholed himself, and I feel stupid because y'all, if you follow the MundaneMatt saga, y'all know this. It's not like I'm trying to educate you because I'm not the only one who's been screaming this. Plenty of other people have been screaming this. He's pigeonholed himself into this situation of, I don't know what to do, but I want to find things that will trend just to grow the channel. And so this is what he's doing to try to grow the channel, but it doesn't grow the channel at all. And so his channel's not growing, he's not making money, and he's bored out of his mind, and now the internet hates him. That's where he's at this point. It's like, again, and at least he's owning up to, yes, it's his fault. So, okay, Matt, if that's the case, change it. Take a few days off and rebrand yourself. Rebrand. Maybe don't call it MundaneMatt. Literally, you have Mundane in the title. I know people say I got BS in the title, but it's fine. I'll own my shit. If you don't like what you're doing, change your name, rebrand yourself, and come back and do what you love. And if you lose subscribers, so what? You're losing them anyway. You're losing people anyway at this point. See what you can do to salvage what you have and turn it around and do something that you feel good about. And also, before you rebrand, and I think this is key to gain back people's trust, you get the flags removed and you try to compensate people, even if it's like $50, even if it's 20. Set up a payment plan. Do something to the people that you have flagged and fucked with their money. Do some kind of recompense with these people. That's key, in my opinion. Is he gonna do it? I don't think he cares that much about who he hurt. I don't think he will. I really don't. But again, it's my channel, it's just my fucking opinion, and I'm giving advice to somebody who I really can't stand, who I don't think is sorry, and I don't think is gonna fix their shit they did to people. But I guess that's just me. Okay, anyways, let's continue.
But I come across something as interesting as a headless torso found in an aquarium. I'm like, that's an interesting subject. I would actually like to discuss that further because I got a macabre sense of humor. I got a macabre. I'm morbid. I have morbid curiosity in that regard, right? I've taken like homicide writers courses in Hollywood where like we actually went through real life homicide cases to determine like how it happened and how it was solved because I find that to be fascinating. So I geek out on that shit too. But when it comes to talking about feminism, what more can I say? When it comes to calling out Anita Sarkeesian, honest to God, what more can I say? Zoe Quinn, what more can I say?
Thank you, Matt. Exactly, it's all been said. Except for what I would like to see is a video about Zoe Quinn where you talk about how hypocritical it was to go flag other people when that's what you built your platform off of. I would love that honest video, as you are actively trying to fix the strikes and get people's channels back and pay them back. That's the kind of shit that I would like to see. Something honest and something genuine while you're trying to do the right thing. If you really give a shit to, because you and your little skeptic buddies are not skeptic buddies anymore. I don't trust that you guys give a shit about anybody but yourselves, to be honest.
And that is when I look at these particular articles, these SJWs in gaming that do stupid stuff, and it is stuff worth calling out, don't get me wrong. I just don't think I'm the person to call it out anymore, because my argument doesn't change. What I say doesn't change. And then I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels. I feel like I'm just going through the motions, that I'm not actively engaged anymore, and I move on to the next topic. I just move on and keep moving on and keep moving on. That treadmill is cancer. It sucks. So I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it.
Oh, I mean, to give him some credit and, you know, benefit of the doubt at least, this sounds like he's being honest. He's being honest with what he's doing and the fact that he can't stand doing it. So I can't fault him for that. I gotta give some credit where it's due, even though it's hard to trust anything he says.
You know, and the way I view things right now is, look, I've made mistakes. All right. Everyone knows. I'm not hiding from it. But a large part of the next step is realizing why those things happened, understanding, acknowledging why those things happened, what got me to the point where I was stupid and allowed those things to happen. And a lot of that has to do with just frustration, that I wasn't doing what I feel was best for me, that I was allowing myself to be stupid. And that's just on me. So, you know, when I talk about YouTube burnout, that was part of it. When I go and I learn, I take these courses like VidCon. I did the industry stuff. I went to Vid Summit last year, which was a 3-day conference on YouTube. I've read books, listened to YouTube gurus, trying to understand the algorithm in order to continue doing this. And I find myself again fascinated by the platform of YouTube, what it entails, what comes from it, how to grow, how to build. But then I go back to the content, and the content, which is obviously what you need more than anything else, bores me.
I actually have to give a lot of credit. I think this is the first self-reflection we're really seeing from Matt, because I really felt like that other apology was a PR stunt. And to me, it's a PR stunt until he's actively fixed stuff. I know people think I'm being hard on him, but I will explain at the end. I've talked about this before, but I will go over this as to why I'm so hard on Matt. But credit where it's due. I think he's being honest. I think he's been trying to hack the algorithm, and he's just been trying to produce mass content that he thinks it's gonna work. The problem, Matt, is that you could make a channel work if you wanted to do like news and commentary on stories and articles. Like you could do a Phil DeFranco, you could do something like that. Here's the problem that you're missing, and this is why you won't grow on YouTube and you can't grow with the algorithm. You don't care about what you're doing, so nobody cares to watch. And that's it. The only difference between you and somebody doing the same thing you're doing who is successful, they enjoy it. They've built a personality. They've built charisma. And maybe you actually have some of that, but you have just buried it deep down to try to keep cracking an algorithm. And even though it's great to learn how YouTube works, it's great to learn how the algorithm works, if you don't have anything of substance to say, then it doesn't matter what you do. Nobody's going to care to hear something that you don't care about, period. And furthermore though, I like how he's saying he's trying to figure out how he got to this point, but let's not forget Matt. All the massive amounts of shit talking you did to have people come after you. He would, I don't know if you guys know this, he would shit talk. He did this to me. He's done it to a lot of other people. He'd shit talk and then he'd come back, like when people would face him and go, oh, I didn't do that, blah, blah, and become a puss. They turn around, he shit talks again. So I hope he owns up to that in this video. I don't know, we'll see, but at least it's a good start.
This content bores me. Not all of it, you know, not all of it, obviously. But when I feel like that is what's expected of me, when I feel like going through the motions is what people want, I don't really care about it much anymore. I don't really find myself as engaged. And I feel like, and this is just, I think the reality of the game is when you go out there and you put video out there and like, I expect every video now to be demonetized. Every video generally does for the first 48 hours, which basically means that like ain't nothing going to happen with it anyway, because we all know that that makes no money. And I don't want to go out there every day and complain about it. Because I don't really feel like that's productive. And, but when you want to go and talk about social justice stuff, you know that it's going to bring in views because people are interested. And so it becomes this odd dichotomy where I am combating my own internal impulses to switch gears for the sake of maintaining the status quo. And that is no one's fault but my own. That's the biggest thing here. That's the realization of this past week, the realization after going to MythCon and seeing the debates happen between people who are fundamentally ideologically opposed and what can come from that, and that it should go to that and it should be more of that. And we should all push for that.
Well, here's the problem, Matt. The problem is if you're going to continue to want to do controversial content, and there's nothing wrong with that, understand this platform is going to demonetize it. That's it. Like if you want to do stuff about SJWs, then you can't. There are topics, I wanted to come on and do more political commentary, and I realized I'm like, you kind of can't. You can't, like, I can't talk about a breaking news story. Like there are several things you can't talk about. So I said, you know what? I have 10,000 other things I'm passionate, happy to talk about. I don't have to do one thing or another. But Matt, here's what I would say. Then at this point, if you don't have a good enough base of an audience that's going to fund you, then YouTube needs to be a hobby. It needs to be a side gig. And you need to go out and get a real job, a big boy job. I think that's at this point, or just start over completely from scratch and make a brand new channel and grow from that. But even then, you're going to need a big boy job because that's going to take time to get monetized and go through that process. So in this area, I can sympathize with him with the demonetization stuff. It happens to me too. It sucks. Absolutely sucks. But Matt, I think if you stick with it, learn ways to get around to monetize, unless they've just done it to your whole channel, then you're fucked. If you're marked, you're fucked, which I know happens to people. But, do the best you can, and if you have to, then go back to making YouTube something fun and make it a hobby. Until YouTube either fixes and changes some things to help be a better platform for creators until they all access. It's gonna be one or the other. But I think that's gonna be the only compromise you will find in this. You have to stop looking at this as a means to money at this point. Because until another platform rivals, or YouTube fixes itself, or it axes all of us, you're gonna be stuck in a really shitty limbo fighting. That one I can be a little compassionate with. But I'll tell you, Matt, from experience, it's not worth it. Doing something just because is not worth it if your soul isn't into it. Don't go against what your soul really feels to do, unless you feel like you're going through something. Like, for instance, I'd love to be a professional singer again. That's in my soul, but I know my body has to go through something right now, and I can't because I have a limitation. But if it just feels, if you have that gut feeling, if it feels wrong in your soul to do what you're doing, then it's better to go get a boring job and be at peace than have a job where you can get attention and talk about stuff and have people look at you and hate it. Trust me, I've done this enough. That's at least, I would rather do a job I hate, but that I feel peaceful about. I feel good about myself inside, than get a bunch of attention. That's why it was nothing to me to delete 60,000 subscribers. Because my soul and the peace in my soul isn't worth attention. It's just not.
And it dawned on me that I would rather engage in a discussion there than a one-sided discussion here. And that's been weighing on me a lot since I was at MythCon. And it's been weighing on me a lot. I should say it was realized while I was at MythCon, or fundamentally brought into clarity while I was there, versus the last year and a half where I've been kind of in that thought process, but have not recognized it in the right fashion. So, I want to bring back like the podcast because I enjoy doing that. And I'm still figuring out the details, working with people right now on that. And, I'm going to hold off quite a bit on the SJW stuff, unless it's pertinent to an interesting story, or something along those lines. And I want to talk about other things that I find to be interesting and go from there. So I just wanted to make this video to let you guys know where things are at, what's going on, what to kind of expect, I guess, and then you'll see more in this upcoming week. Anyway, I really appreciate you paying attention, and I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.
So I'm a little surprised because I actually respect this video. I respect it quite a bit. If he's being honest, it seems like it, but again, we tell if somebody's being honest by their actions. I say we like I'm scolding you. Now here's what we're gonna do. Do you guys remember when you were little? Did your parents ever do this? I don't know if maybe it was a Midwestern thing, it was all parents, but like when I was little, like I was 3 or 4, and let's say I fell down the sidewalk and we're walking. I remember this. We were walking into church, I fell down the sidewalk and I like scraped my leg. I cried for like 10 seconds and was done. But you know, when after you're done crying, your face looks crazy. And so somebody came up to us when we got in the church building and said, "Oh, what happened?" And my mom looked at her and she went, "We fell." And I remember thinking, bitch, I fell. You didn't fall, I fall. I mean, I don't think I used the word bitch. I don't think I knew what that meant at the time or heard it much, but yeah, that was my attitude. Like, bitch, you didn't fall, it was me. Don't take my fall for me. I didn't understand, but she would do that a lot. Anyways, I just did that to you guys. Side note, but I actually kind of respect this. I respect this. It sucks. It sucks because I battle that side of myself that's forgiving and compassionate and wants to go, hey, he's making changes and this is great and hopefully he can make something good out of all the crap that's happened, you know? At the same time, the reason I'm so hard on him is this is where I'm at. And I've said it repeatedly in this video, I'm gonna keep saying it. And this is why, even though people gave me crap for it, I didn't buy his apology. Matt, I know you watch me, I've seen it. I don't buy your words. I'm sorry, honey. I don't buy your words at this point. What we're gonna buy is your actions. The moment you start lifting those strikes is when we're gonna buy it. But more people are getting strikes. People are still getting strikes. Now, whether or not that is Mundane Matt, I don't know, but at this point, can we trust him? And I don't know if maybe Matt is concerned that if he does, he's gonna lose his channel. Hey, Matt, you know what? Lose that channel, start a new one. Because I think you would gain everybody's respect back, people would be talking like me, and that would end up promoting the new channel. That's what I think. I would literally, if it's gonna axe your channel to get those strikes removed, do it. Show people you have integrity and turn your shit around. You can do it. I deleted 60,000 subs, came back to a 13,000 dead sub channel. And I've been able to make it work. But that's because I love what I say. I enjoy what I say. I enjoy what I make, and I care about the people that watch me. And I care about other content creators even when they're assholes. And you have to care about other people more than you care about yourself. So until the day I see those strikes removed and you financially try to compensate, even if it's a, hey, I'm tight right now, but can we come up with a solution? How much money did you lose? Let's come up with something that works for everybody. Until that happens, I don't buy anything you have to say, and neither should anybody else. Because when you've been proven to be a monumental liar, and I mean a big liar and a deceiver and an obster like Matt is, that is the only way to treat these people, otherwise they can go back to their shit. Some people you have to be hard on, unfortunately. And it really irritated me when I heard people say, okay, he apologized, let it go. I'm like, no. He's got to clean up the mess now. The apology, it's a first nice little step, but because he's lied and he's been a liar, we can't rely on that. So where's the action? Get out the fucking broom, get out your mop, time to sweep up all that fucking milk and the glass on the floor. At least in my opinion, and I'll sit there and I'll drink tea as you do. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I don't have many more Matt videos, I really don't. You know, if like I said, I've said this before, but if I see something interesting, I'll talk about it. So I do have a series coming up I've been sitting on. I'm gonna keep sitting on it for a little bit because other things have come up, and it's one that I don't want to talk about right now, but it does pertain to Matt-ish. But it will be coming up here maybe the next week or two, I guess. Depends on how long Peter keeps doing silly shit, because the Peter Mon stuff to me is disgusting and hilarious at this point. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please leave a like. Leave a like on my channel. Every like helps me, the algorithm, and I appreciate you guys so much. Also, please leave a comment. I typically am in the comment section for a couple hours after I post my videos, so you'll probably hear from me. Like the quicker you send a comment, the more possibility I'm going to respond to you if you'd like to have some interaction, and typically I'll give you a few responses. So because I sit and I read all the comments, I respond to thoroughly. Also, if you like, please subscribe and then hit the notification bell. But guess what? You're probably not gonna see my videos anyway, because YouTube isn't on my side anymore. It doesn't like me as much. I know it's all of us. I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's only me. But just to let you guys know, and I've said this before, but I'll keep saying it, I typically upload 2 videos a day, sometimes 3, depending if I'm feeling saucy. Saucy. What would saucy mean for a 3rd video? Ooh, I'm feeling saucy. Let me throw up a saucy 3rd video. That sounds like such a baby boomer thing to say. But if I'm feeling up to it, I'll put up a 3rd. Typically, I will post the first one between 1 and 2. So if by like 2, 3 o'clock y'all don't hear from me, either I'm sick or something happened, because I try to upload every single day and I have stockpiles of videos. Like when I'm feeling good, I'll have a day where I'll just make 10 videos. I'm not even joking. I know it's crazy. And then I'll work on them as I don't feel good. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. So continue, guys, to be a blessing to yourselves and a blessing to others, and continue to try to find the joy and the sparkles and all the bullshit in the world. I love you guys and I'll see you soon. Take care. Mwah, and goodbye.